Hello, good morning. Welcome again to part 2 of where we left from, that is beyond your comfort zone. And the part 2 of it, we said we are going to discuss a topic entitled mentality change. I'm going to define for you what is mentality change. The strong belief within yourself that you are able to do extraordinary things in life is what we term as mentality change. That belief, that thinking in you that you can do extraordinary things in life is mentality change. Definition 2 is a state of believing that the impossible is possible, that you can actually manipulate your destiny. You know, many people maybe have looked at you and they have said you are a failure in life. Yourself, you have been looking at yourself and you have said, I cannot just make it. But when you can be able to manipulate that thinking you have and make it in life is now what we call mentality change. So, there are 5 things that influences mentality change. I'm going to discuss them one by one. And you are actually going to know where you lie or what do you need. Point number 1. When you have mentality change, 1, it changes the way you feel things. Completely. Mentality change changes the way you feel things, the way you look at things. One man said, eyes that look are common, but eyes that see are rare. The power to see great things is vested in our minds. In fact, in my medical school and in my medical class, the interpretation of what you see is just interpreted in the mind. You just look, see, and you say, I have seen a cup. It is the mind that interprets that you have seen a cup and not a cow. You have seen a goat and not a camel. Interpretation is made in the mind. Yeah, so the power to see great things is vested in our minds. A change of our state of mind will determine how we perceive what we see. God's command to Abraham illustrates this. In the book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 14 and 15, the Lord said to Abraham, after Lot had parted from him, lift up your eyes from where you are and look north and south, west and east. All the land that you see, I will give you and your offspring forever. So, God is commanding Abraham to look south, east, west, and even north. All the land that he sees is his. He will give him plus his offspring forever. So, the blessings of Abraham were to be determined by his power to see. If you give one man a piece of good, he will see a firewood or a charcoal. But if you give another person the same piece of good, he will see an elephant or a perfect carving that will fetch him dollars in a foreign market. So it is through change in our thinking that we are able to see clearly what we want in life. If you want to be a good teacher, you must go to class and practice to be one. If you want to be a very good clinician, you must go to school and study a lot, do a lot of research, clinical research and everything, so that you can be able to practice widely and in a good range. But if you also want to be the poorest practitioner of, even if it is in law, you must go home and stay and go to court and try to charge people or to argue in cases. You cannot win any. So, it is through change in our thinking that we are able to see clearly what we want in life. Point number 2, that influences mentality change is it propels you out of your comfort zone. When you start experiencing mentality change, it starts pushing you out of your comfort zone. Look here. There were this in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 7, 3 and 4. There were 4 men with leprosy at the entrance of the city gate. They said to each other, "Why stay here until we die? If we say, 'Well, I'll go into the city,' the famine is there and we will die. And if we stay here, we will die. So let us go over to the camp of the Arameans and surrender. If they spare us, we live. And if they kill us, we die." These men were propelled by mentality change. They said, if we are going to stay here where we are locked up, we are going to die. If we risk our lives and go to the city, high chances are that we may be killed. But let us just decide and go. If they spare us, well. If they kill us, well. So they moved out of that comfort zone they have been put into and they moved to a better place. Because even if they were to stay there, they were going to die. You know, even if you are going to stay where you are without moving yourself, you are not a stone. Without changing the way you are doing things, you are going to remain the same. You fear to invest because you will be bewitched. Actually, you will remain poor forever. You will remain like you are cursed. But if you risk and go, maybe the witches can spare you and you can live. If they are there, because I don't believe in witchcraft so much. So, these men considered all the viable options and went through their mentality change. The place they had spent all their lives was no longer better. They literally stared at death with their eyes. They had no hope of living any longer. The second option of going to the city was even worse because death awaited them. Look here. We are sitting down complaining and staring at death, poverty, sickness, and joblessness. Yeah, we complain. We are not ready to take a risk to be different from our forefathers. We are just complainers. Oh, we die. Oh, there is poverty. Oh, there is sickness. Oh, there is no jobs. And even all of these sufferings, we have not taken any step to change that lives. How can we do it? Look here. The third point. I told you there are 5 points that we are discussing. It generates motivation in your life. When you have mentality change. When you start initiating. When you start engaging in mentality change in yourself. Actually, it motivates. It brings motivation in your life. How? If an egg is broken by an external force, life dies. But if it is broken by the force from within, life begins. You know, great things are achieved when the fire burns from within. When you have that inner burning. That, oh, I want to do this. And you just go for it. If you want a mango tree, you must plant a mango seed. And if you want an avocado tree, you must plant an avocado seed. So if you want success in life, you must start planting it. And if you want failure, you must start practicing failure. Look here. Greatness is hidden in oneself and is determined by the thinking of the individual. That's why Proverbs says, as a man thinks, so he is. So you are what you are thinking. If you are thinking to be poor, you will be poor forever. If you are thinking to be rich, you will be rich forever. There is no secret. There is no way you can be thinking of success and you become a failure. No way. If you think of success, you must be an achiever. And if you think of failure, you must be a failure automatically. So, point number 4. Mentality change takes you out of the crowd. You know, somehow we normally hide ourselves inside the crowd. We don't want to stand to be counted. Many people prefer to fit into the crowd rather than to stand to be counted. They could rather remain in a group instead of taking a step of faith and be criticized. Success in life is about taking risks. If you can't risk your millions to invest, you cannot be a multi-millionaire. You cannot. You must take a risk to invest those thousands you have been saving in a bank so that they can generate more or they go. That is why it is called business. Biashara. It is either you gain or you lose. So, you must be courageous enough if you want to do anything worth, just like David. Look here. If you read the book of 1 Samuel 27-26, David asked the men standing near him, what will be given to the man who will kill this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Remember, David, as a young shepherd, he was given food by his father to take to his brothers who were in the army, who had gone to fight Goliath, a giant. And in the morning, while David was there, and Goliath could stand and call and even throw accusations to Israel and say, who will stand and come and fight with me? Then the brothers of David could just shrink to the ground. And just David approached them and asked the king, what can be given to a man who will kill this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? 1 Samuel 27-26. So, and the king proudly said, I will give him my daughter. Here is David, who conquered Goliath in the battlefield, a very young boy. He had taken that great risk. And actually, he wiped out that disgrace from Israel. You have an opportunity where you are. Watching me from, you can make it. You can change the destiny of your family. You can change the destiny of your life. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what life has made you to be. You can make life what you want it to be. Number 5, it brings transformation in your life. Mentality change brings transformation in your life. That is the last point. Paul, in the book of Romans 12, verse 1, is encouraging or is writing something very important. He says this, therefore, I urge you as brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your body as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, good, pleasing, and perfect will. If we must live to see and bless a better tomorrow, then we must be ready to renew the way we think. Our minds must go through a process to enable us to think differently. So, and that process that our minds need to go is what we have just discussed. So, brothers and sisters, you are what you want to be in life, and you are the change that you want. There is nothing that can come in a self-appraise. It is just you who will wake up and work for it. Rise up earlier, pray to your God. He will definitely answer your prayers. As you think of these 5 strong points of mentality change, how you need or what you need in order to transform your mind from what you have been perceiving yourself to be, that's all you need. Above all, read the book of Romans 12:1. I urge you as brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your body as a living sacrifice. May God bless you as you go, or as you set your mind through a mentality change. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to share. May God bless you abundantly.